Chapter 7 Practice Makes Performance. It wasn't until about an hour after breakfast that the boys realized why Polo had made them get up at the crack of dawn. The day was hot and sunny, and by mid-morning even the shady wood became warm. An hour of practicing the Vanishing Boy act convinced Joey and Clapper that being assistants to a magician was really hard work. They still hadn't learned the secret of how he was to vanish in midair, because all Joey had done so far was to crawl in and out of the box. This appeared such a simple thing to do, but Joey had to enter the box in a certain way, keeping his head at the same height each time, and leave it the same way. He had to move fast while making his actions look casual, yet position himself inside the box at exactly the same place each time. Polo had tested Clapper's capacity to turn somersaults. Clapper, who prided himself on his gymnastic ability, was somewhat peeved to find that Polo himself could turn far better handsprings and somersaults, despite his age. Every time Joey entered the box, Polo and Terry would shout, "Alley-oop!" At this signal, Clapper had to start turning somersaults. By the end of 2 hours, Joey wished he had never seen the box, and Clapper longed to stay on his feet for just a few minutes in peace and quiet. After another half-hour's practice, the men made tea. The perspiring, panting boys drank a bottle of lemonade each and consumed half a pound of biscuits and 6 sausage rolls between them. Polo sighed patiently as he observed this eating and drinking by Joey and Clapper. "Can't have you doubling yourselves up after all that food and fizzy pop," he decided. "So, I suppose you'll have to watch Terry and me rehearsing for a time." "Haven't you done enough?" Clapper protested. "Enough," Polo snorted. "We haven't begun yet. Practice makes performance, laddie. There's no easy way to put an act on stage. You practice until you can do everything with your eyes shut. Every step, every movement has to be timed and carried out until it's perfect each time." "It's a bit of a shock to find out what hard work it is," Joey admitted. "But we still don't know what the act is. Well, it isn't just me crawling in and out of the box while Clapper turns somersaults, is it?" "No, but that's the main part." "I should have thought the vanishing would be the main part," said Joey. Polo shrugged. "You'll manage that easily enough. Moving in and out of the box quickly and in the same position each time is most important." "Why can't I just stand and watch Joey?" Clapper asked. "Because, laddie, you're an optical distraction." "A what?" "Optical means something to do with the eyes," said Terry. "Distraction means to attract a person's attention away from some particular thing. It isn't very easy to watch 2 moving things at the same time." While Clapper is turning somersaults, Joey enters and leaves the box. The audience has a vision of 2 moving figures, so can't easily concentrate on the box. The eyes of hundreds of people are focused on 2 boys moving, and possibly myself standing a little to one side of you. The box is glittering in the lights below the wire. The attendants run on and lift the box under the wire. Joey is crouched inside. We fit on the 2 sides. The box slides down to the middle of the wire. We take off the sides. Joey has vanished. Clapper turns somersaults. "We put the sides on," Polo continued. "Push the box to the far end, open it, and alley-oop! There is Joey again." He glanced at Terry. "I've been thinking, laddie. It would be more effective if you ran the box back to the far end again. Big fanfare and a roll of drums from the band. Open up and alley-oop! He's gone again." "But that wasn't your original act." "No, but there's no reason why we shouldn't vanish Joey at the end as well." "Then rush the box out of the ring?" Terry queried. Polo frowned thoughtfully. That's a good point. How do we get it out?" "How about a trolley?" "No good," said Polo emphatically. "Always finish an act with the same props. Can't bring on a trolley just to wheel the box out. Time's important too. Joey has only about 1 minute's breathing time." Joey goggled at this remark, and Clapper stared wide-eyed, first at Polo, then at Terry. This serious discussion of how a trick should be carried out gave both boys another surprise. Like so many people in an audience, they hadn't understood how much planning went on into acts they watched on a stage or on television, sometimes lasting only a few minutes. and Polo's reference to Joey's breathing time came as a shock. Terry noticed their startled expressions. "Not to worry, Joey, you won't suffocate, I promise you." "I've got it," Polo exclaimed. "Run the box to the far end, vanish Joey, off with the sides, lift the box down, on with the sides." "No, that's no good." "On with the sides while it's on the wire," Terry suggested. "Lift down, then off sides, and Joey exists." "That's it," Polo agreed. "Come on, let's time that." Temporarily ignored in this rush of enthusiasm, the boys followed Polo and Terry back to the wood. They watched the men hoist the box onto the wire, move it to the center, shout alley-oop, then move it on again. More alley-oops, then back quickly along the swaying wire to the far end. Joey and Clapper had to admire the energy and painstaking thoroughness Polo and Terry applied to the task. For over an hour they practiced the seemingly simple actions of sliding the box back and forth, halting it once in the middle, once at each end, then lifting it to the ground. Polo timed every movement with a special watch. At last their labors ended. They rejoined the now slightly bored boys. "That's got it," said Polo. 3.5 minutes will give us about 30 seconds to spare. He grinned at Joey and Clapper. "Well, you've been very good while we had to concentrate on getting that part right, so now we'll show you the secret." Polo disappeared into the tent, then came out carrying a dull black frame. A faint click sounded as he pressed the top, and the frame collapsed flat. "That's just to make it easy to travel in the prop box," he said, opening the frame again. "This is why Joey had to practice entering and leaving the box in a certain way. It's a false lining. Joey disappears inside it." There?" Joey gasped. "Cool. 1 minute's breathing time, then you've had it," said Clapper encouragingly. "Oh, you can breathe all right for a lot longer than that," Polo assured him cheerfully. "But I don't like my vanishing boy to reappear all puffed and red in the face." No, of course not," Joey agreed doubtfully. But Polo ignored Joey's doubts. "You crouch in here just like you've been practicing, then you press this side with your elbow." Polo pressed a side panel, and the whole of one side, the base and the top portion of the frame slid open. You draw back your arms, straighten your legs, and the panels slide shut over you. 20 seconds is all it takes. That's why we time it so carefully. "Suppose it must work," said Joey. "Can I try it?" "Not in those clothes. The silk costume is only for the show. It'll fit you tightly, and being slippery surfaced, there's nothing to catch on the panels." "You think of everything, don't you?" said Clapper. "We have to," said Terry grimly. "Remember, we're magicians. People expect us to do the impossible." He pointed to the sides of the frame. "We have a border fitted with special glass which clamps around there. You can't see out, but the spotlights reflect off it, so all the audience see is a pretty flashing of the glittering lights. By being able to see out, you'll know the exact moment when you have to press that white switch so you can reappear in the box. I did it dozens of times. Nothing to it. And this box is foolproof. It was made by a real craftsman in Italy, a specialist in making circus and theater props. Now do you see why we are working so hard? 90% perspiration, 10% inspiration. That's magic." Joey nodded eagerly. "I understand more now. Suppose I was a bit stage-struck before. It's really just like any other job, isn't it? You have to really work at it." "Then let's start all over again," said Polo. "On stage, everybody." They practiced for the rest of the morning until lunchtime. After lunch, they tried on the costumes, and Joey had his first experience of getting in and out of the false lining of the box. Following this, Polo called a break, and Terry drove the boys to West Wittering, where they spent happy hours swimming and playing on the sands. On the way back, they saw numbers of posters advertising the arrival of Custer's Mammoth Circus the following week. "That's it," said Terry, as they passed a large picture of lions, tigers, elephants, and clowns. "Just think. This time next week, Rosa will only be a mile or two away." From that moment, Terry drove slowly and dreamily. Clapper groaned. "He's gone again." "Oh, no, I haven't," Terry surprised them. He chuckled. "Well, not completely anyway. He paused. I'll never forget your help. Never, he added seriously. You don't mind the hard work, do you? You're both learning very quickly. You should be perfect by the weekend. It's all in a good cause, said Clapper nobly. Can Joey's father come and see us at the weekend? Why not? Terry agreed. Let's try the act out in a friendly audience. Invite your uncle and aunt too, Clapper. Clapper beamed happily. He always liked an audience. End of chapter 7.